Have you ever wondered how someone knows that you're the one? There's no predicting, it's no guessing, it's no games. They just know. And it has to be God. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how God reveals you to your future spouse. And this is like a part two to my video that I did where God actually revealed to Kennedy that I was her spouse first. And so before we jump into this video, do me a favor, hit the like button and also subscribe. Now, the first thing I want to talk about and really clear up some misconceptions that I heard from other people who are talking about this subject is that you have to be this perfect person before God reveals you. And I believe that's not true. In the story I tell about my wife actually receiving a word of knowledge about me, I was at a women's conference chasing another girl. And I talk about that story in the video I'm going to post later. But I was at this women's event chasing another girl, right? And the host asked me to come up to the front and start praying for people. And it was by the grace of God that Kennedy came to me. And I started to pray for her. And I was praying in the spirit. And God was giving me different personal things about Kennedy. And Kennedy fell back. And when I went to console her, God actually spoke to her and gave her a word of knowledge that I was going to be her future husband. Now, the crazier part is that I was not living this holier than thou lifestyle. I was actually a hypocrite. I was breaking boundaries. And again, I was there chasing another girl. But by God's grace, he revealed me to Kennedy. And so what I say is, it's God's promise over perfection. Promise is greater than perfection. You don't have to be living this crazy holy life for God to reveal you. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be living in sin, but God's promise is greater than perfection. We can see this in Abraham's story. He was lying to different kings. We can see David's story in the Bible that God actually gave him a son to take over the throne. God's promise is over perfection. However, when God revealed to me that Kennedy was my wife, Kennedy was actually striving to live a holy life. She just got rebaptized. She was going through classes on purity and relationships. And then I found her. And so it's two sides of the spectrum. I was not living right. However, Kennedy was. Therefore, God can bring two people together and he writes the best love story. One of the things we encourage singles and even dating couples is to have a shared belief on counsel, to have a shared belief on accountability or mentors. And that's why me and Kennedy want to open up our calendar just for you. Now, if you're interested into learning and growing in your relationship, in the description below is a link with an application. Fill that application out and we're going to receive it and actually see if we're a good fit. And if we are a good fit, we're going to jump on the phone with you and see where you are, where you want to go, and develop a roadmap so you can honor God in your relationship. Now, my second point is this. Yes, I was living a hypocritical life, but me and Kennedy still had similar Christian values and beliefs. We were going to church each and every week. We were seeing each other at young adults group. You see, when God is revealing you to your spouse, there are going to be some Christian values that y'all share, that there's going to be some kindness there, that there's going to be some compassion, some humility, that you're going to value being honest and trustworthy, faithfulness, like going to church, serving people. We were doing all of these things. Now, it's crazy to me that there are so many people who are saying God revealed this particular person, but they don't have the same values as you. And they are not even Christians. And you're saying, yeah, I know this is my husband, or yeah, I know this is my spouse, but they're not even submitted to the will of God. You see, they have their own wills and they're walking away from God. And now you are waiting 3, 5, 7, 10, and even 15 years for this person to come back, but you are supposed to move on years ago. And so one of the things I just want to encourage you is that you have a will and they have a will. You can choose the person you want to be with, and they can choose the person they want to be and be with as well. Now, the third way in how God reveals you to your spouse is a lack of strife, a lack of turmoil, a lack of conflict. You see, in my life, I didn't have too much conflict, and Kennedy saw that. And I can say the same thing about Kennedy. I knew that she was not living in conflict and turmoil, that it was so much stuff going around with her that she was leaving this guy and leaving that guy, or I was sleeping with somebody or jumping in and out of relationships. It was none of those things. You want to seek peace in a relationship. One thing I don't understand is so many people are jumping into relationships when there's so much turmoil, so much conflict, and even violence in that relationship. And you're saying, hey, the devil is trying to keep us apart. No, God is trying to say, this is not what I have for you. This is not the plan or the purpose partner or the kingdom spouse that I have for you. Y'all need to break up. However, you continue to seek dysfunction. And what my wife says, it's a trauma bond. Dysfunction is not normal. We need to stop normalizing dysfunction in our relationship. You see, the devil will love for you two to stay together. Why? Because you'll be focusing on the conflict. You'll be focusing on the turmoil and not focus on building his kingdom and bringing more people to the kingdom of God. Now, the fourth way that God reveals you to your future spouse is the people around you, the wise counsel. I was talking to Kennedy about this point and just asking her, who was telling her that I was a good guy? And she was just naming different people that was in her small group. She had wise counsel around her who was gassing me up. And I remember this one Saturday when me and Kennedy was talking and I was headed to church, and I actually entered into the church and I saw one of my friends and I had a big smile on my face. He was like, Damien, why are you smiling? And I was like, bro, I'm finally talking to a girl. And he was like, who is it? And I said, Kennedy. And he was like, Kennedy? Oh my goodness. His excitement was contagious. And I was excited even more. He was like, man, I love Kennedy. Man, she was in my small group and she was doing so much. She was serving with her sister. And she's just a great girl, bro. I'm so happy for you. And I was like, wow. And so when God was revealing Kennedy to me, I had the wise counsel to say, Kennedy was a great person. She was serving in the small group. There was nothing bad spoken about her. Now, I have a question for you. What is spoken about you around your counsel? Do people say, oh, he sleeps around or she sleeps around? Do people say, oh, she just jumps in and out of relationships. She's not consistent. She's not faithful. Or do they tell you that man is so angry? He has father issues or he has mother issues that is not healed yet. What are the things that people who are around you are talking behind your back about? You need to ask your wise counsel, are you ready for a relationship? And the last point I want to touch on how God reveals you to your future spouse is mutual pursuit. You see, you have to be pursuing the same thing. You have to be believing the same thing. I believe in Jesus Christ, so I'm going to pursue Jesus Christ. Kennedy believed in Jesus Christ, so she's going to pursue Jesus Christ. And this is before we even got married. We was pursuing the same thing. We were in alignment to that pursuit. We're also in alignment of purpose. When I pursue Jesus, he gives me purpose. Now, I remember a dream that Kennedy told me before I even came into the picture, that she had a dream where she went into a house and there were several people coming in and out of that house, and it was filthy. Kennedy was very troubled by the dream, and she told her small group leader. And he interpreted the dream that in the future, Kennedy was going to marry a person. They was going to have a deliverance ministry for couples and even marriage. Now, looking back, we are doing that today. And so we were in alignment before we even came together. And for me, I just had a heart also for relationships, for purity. You see, I was not sleeping with anybody. I actually got married as a virgin. And Kennedy was in a class about purity in relationships. We were in alignment. And now that purpose is what we're doing today. And so I'm going to ask you this simple question. Are you in alignment with the person that you believe that God revealed to you? Are you aligned in purpose? Are you aligned in calling? Are you aligned in what you're supposed to do for the kingdom of God and bringing his kingdom to the earth? God desires for you to be equally yoked, going in the same direction, doing the things that God has called you to do on the earth. Now, if you want clarity or even confidence in your relationship, if you want partnership or accountability or even mentors, me and Kennedy have opened up our calendar just for you. In the description below is a link to an application. Fill that application out. And me and Kennedy will review your application and see if this is a good fit. And if it is a good fit, me and Kennedy are going to jump on a call with you to see where you are, where you want to go, and develop a roadmap so you can honor God in your relationship. Now, if you want to see how God revealed to Kennedy that I was her husband first, you can watch this video right here.